Hello and good evening. I'm Joy Holt reporting for 18 WJTS News. On Thursday at Huntingburg Elementary, the Community Foundation presented the largest grant of their 12 Days of Giving to the Huntingburg Holland Music Program. The music program is led by Kim Worthwine, who has been teaching at the school for the last 6 years. Worthwine was very appreciative and surprised to have been chosen for the $10,000 grant. She expressed what music means for children and humanity the same.
And really what I take, in essence, of course the kids give back to me too, but they were teaching a humanity. We're connecting with other human beings, whether living, not living, with us in the room, not with us in the room, how other cultures, it's a respect for humanity too. There's so much that music does for us. And I've not met anyone yet that doesn't like music at some point. They're singing in the shower, they're listening to it in the radio or in their car. Everyone loves it and they have their niche on what kind of music they like. And there's a reason, because it's part of it. It's a human process.
The Community Foundation grant is the accumulation of 12 Days of Giving, a granting blitz that kicked off December 8th. Nona Baker, who is the Associate Director for the Community Foundation, discussed what it took to receive the grant.
We had a program this year called 12 Days of Giving. It's the second year that we've done it, and our volunteers at the Community Foundation identified organizations that they wanted to receive a $1,000 grant. 21 organizations received a $1,000 grant, and then those 21 organizations rallied support from their friends and family and colleagues and neighbors and everybody they could probably pull up to try to help them win a $10,000 grant yesterday on the Community Foundation Facebook page. We had over 2,600 votes in one day, and our page was shared over 500 times. So it was a busy Facebook day. We thought any minute now they were going to shut us down. So at the end of the day at 5:01, we turned it off, and I started counting votes for 3 hours. But it was a great fun, and I was able to tell pretty quickly who the recipient was going to be, and it's this wonderful program led by Mrs. Kim Worthwine.
The music program and children will benefit greatly from the grant, and Kim Worthwine shared what the plans are for the money.
We had so much support that people had voted for us to win $10,000 for our program, for instruments, for sheet music, but mostly instruments. Instruments. I want instruments in kids' hands. I want them playing, I want them making music, creativity.
Grants are an important part of the Community Foundation's work, interaction and purpose within the community, and Nona Baker highlighted what they can mean for generations to come.
That's what's exciting about grants, well, because it continues on. Hopefully, it's this group of kids that are in elementary school now, but the children that come after them, it will continue to serve them.
Leading up to the $10,000 grant, 21 organizations received a $1,000 grant. These organizations were then eligible for a public vote that took place on Facebook. A total of $31,000 was granted to local charities through the 12 Days of Giving initiative. This year's nonprofits were selected by volunteers of the community. Clayton Boyles, Community Foundation Executive Director, expressed that everyone at the foundation was pleasantly surprised at the level of excitement they saw around the $10,000 grant opportunity, and that the people in our community stepped up when it comes to something they're passionate about. The Community Foundation hopes to continue 12 Days of Giving next year and subsequent years as long as grant funds are available. The newly proposed River Center at the site of the former Jasper Cabinet Building has received perhaps the final boost it needed for plans to get underway. Wednesday night, the Jasper City Council agreed to offer its approval of bonds of economic development revenue. Also agreed upon was the development with River Center to establish 6 public use projects in conjunction with the River Center development. Adjacent to near the Jasper train depot, the property has been vacant since Jasper Cabinet closed its doors in 2002. The River Center development will include a hotel, apartments, and retail space. Tuesday, Attorney Bill Kaiser, representing developers, discussed the lease agreement between the city and the River Center with the Jasper Board of Public Works and the layout in regards to parking at the location. A proposed improvement of lighting and a parking plan was submitted and is waiting review. Of the property to be developed, the city has cleared the last house from the area. The parking was also discussed that it may aid in overflow parking for the nearby Jasper train depot, and that it will be up to the city to designate parking in the case of events that are held at both locations at the same time. The issue of maintaining public access to Mill Street through the streets of South Jackson and Newton Streets were also made aware. A ground lease between the city and the River Center was approved Tuesday morning, with the lease having insurance in place for parking and pedestrians, with the liability lying with the River Center. Now that it has received the city's wishes, development of the new River Center project will begin this coming year, with plans to commence with construction this spring. Authorities with the DuBois County Sheriff's Department are seeking the public's help as they try to gather information on a truck that was found burned Thursday morning. Yesterday, deputies responded to an unimproved section of County Road 450 South between State Road 162 and St. Anthony Road West, commonly known as Iron Bridge Road. Deputies say a blue Ford F-150 with a model year between 1987 and 1991 was found. The DuBois County Sheriff's Department has received information, and the truck has been identified as one that was reported stolen in Pike County, Indiana. The investigation is ongoing, and further updates will be sent out if there are further developments. Anyone with any information about the fire is asked to call the DuBois County Sheriff's Department at 812-482-3522 or DuBois County Dispatch at 812-482-9111. All callers can remain confidential. One person was injured and a Jasper woman was cited after a two-vehicle accident Thursday morning at the intersection of Wernzine Road and Clay Streets on Jasper's south side. Jasper police say just before 10 a.m. yesterday, a Jeep driven by 61-year-old Greg Beckman of Jasper was southbound on Wernzine Road, while 20-year-old Jessica Capehart, also of Jasper, was in the westbound lane of Clay Street and had stopped at the stop sign at the intersection of Wernzine Road. Capehart told police she intended to continue westbound onto Division Road, but failed to see Beck's SUV approaching the intersection from the north. Police say Capehart began to proceed through the intersection and drove her van into the path of the Beck vehicle. Beck told police he was unable to react in time, and the front bumper of his SUV struck the passenger side center of Capehart's van. Beck complained of chest pain and had an abrasion to the head. He was taken by ambulance to Memorial Hospital for treatment. Capehart was not injured but was ticketed by police for failure to yield the right-of-way. Both vehicles sustained $6,000 of damage. Jasper police were assisted at the scene by Memorial Hospital EMS. SOAR, a leadership development program for emerging high-potential businesswomen, is providing a unique opportunity to support the growing number of strong young women leaders in our region. The greatest barrier to leadership reported by girls is self-perception, a lack of self-confidence in their own skills and competencies. It is imperative to ensure all young women have the chance to develop self-confidence in their own leadership abilities. One way to accomplish this is to provide transformational growth opportunities through leadership conferences and experiences. Young Women Lead is an example of one such conference that is making a difference in the lives of young women in our communities. Young Women Lead is a free, all-day conference for local high school girls focusing on leadership, education, and development. The purpose of the conference is to empower young women to embrace their strengths and reach their full potential. The event features nationally recognized women who share their own insights and real-life issues and how to overcome them to achieve successful and meaningful careers. The conference also provides an opportunity for the young women to identify, connect, and learn from local female business leaders. This year's conference will be held on Wednesday, March 8th. In order to reach all young women, the conference is free to all participants. However, the planning costs for producing the event are estimated at $75,000 per attendee. As a contribution to this empowering program, you can provide a scholarship to cover registration for at least one or more future women leaders. The investment you contribute will make a world of difference in the lives of these young women. That's been a look at your news. Stay tuned, your weather summary is coming up right after this.